Hey yo, this is Anime Addiction 00, and I want to try and do something a little bit differently this time. The last game I did was Wakfu, and as I showed in the character creator here, there are quite a lot of classes added with the new one, the Eliotrope. So I've tried out just about every class so far, and even though I haven't gotten too far with them, I think I have a basic understanding of them, and I noticed that when people first start out in Astrub, the first thing they ask is this character any good? What kind of stuff do they do? Is there a good build for them? I might not know the most recommended builds because I just do whatever I want because I feel like it's my own character if I do it like that, or I'm just stubborn, that's probably why my characters suck. But anyway, I'm going to play, I think, every class and try and do a video on each one and try say my own opinions and maybe recommend some strategies or just at least give you ideas. And at the very least, I'll get some. I said least twice. At the very least, I'll get some more recording practice that I so desperately need. So I'm going to go from top to bottom, left to right, because it's easier to remember which ones I've done in that case. So we're going to start off with the Cra. Cra's range, or I think that's how you say it, I'm not sure. So they are the archer class. They shouldn't be too difficult here. I'm not sure if I did too much of the character creator, but here you have a random button if you want. You can change their skin tone here to any color that you would want in different shades of that color. You can change their eye color. It's different depending on the class. I know the Zelor, once I get to that one, has the least amount of options because of how they look. So that's a bit of a shame, but other than that, you have like 3 hairstyles to choose from usually and 5 clothing options, but you can't change the color on those. And also the very helpful random button. Sometimes you get some nice ones that way. And also the random name button, if you don't know what to name your character, which I really wish more games would have, because I only have so many names I could use, and I have a problem with making too many new characters. Yeah. So anyway, let's go back, because I already made a Cra and experimented with it. Hopefully I can explain things decently enough. So the first thing you might want to do once you start your character is open your bag with the I key, hotkey I, or look in this button down here with the inventory and click that button if you want to. And double click or press use when highlighted with the book. You'll get a basic description of what the Cra is or what they do, and even what some of their elemental branches can do with like their spells. With the Air one, they have the low cost AP action point spells. They can work without line of sight, they can push enemies back, so it's good to help stay at a distance and kind of, keep the distance and all that stuff. And also low cost AP can be good if you focus on one element and then just do that for a little bit of extra damage. Fire spells can inflict area damage, and sometimes they can do negative effects, generating additional damage. The Earth branch is the best pure damage they have according to the book, and also some spells can rebound, so once you hit one it might bounce off and keep hitting other ones. So let's focus on the Fire branch first. I'm just going to add a sidekick here because I'm going to need someone to distract all these cats. Sorry to all those cat lovers out there, but I gotta start somewhere. There's not many range options to choose from, so starting with the Fire branch might be difficult. That one goes first, so I'll keep him over there and keep those preoccupied. Okay, so the first fire spell you get to experiment with is the Blazing Arrow. It takes 3 action points and 1 movement point. And since I already moved once, that's all I can do is just cast it twice. Basic spell with some pretty decent damage. And while I'm over here, since I can, it takes 1 Wakfu point. I'm going to cast the Incandescent Beacon for around here. And just wait for the cat to approach, which it probably will. Yeah, there it goes. Gonna have these guys whittle off these. Just waiting for my turn. This might be there's probably a better way to do this, to be honest, but hopefully I'll get the idea with this kind of video. So since they moved into that beacon's range, I wish it would show the range a little bit more often. It only shows it the one time when you cast it. It's a bit of a pain. So I'll cast the fire arrow on it again, and it has an area of effect, so it'll burn it when I hit the beacon and not the actual monster. I only have 1 movement point, so I probably should have used a different spell. I'm going to have him start moving, because I don't want to kill them just yet. I'm going to try to draw this out. Unless he starts dying, then I should probably start killing them. If you don't have a use for his beacon anymore, which I probably don't, you can pick a specialized spell called Unbeacon to destroy it, and and anything that's around it, a monster will get a damage penalty. Also, you have a chance of getting the Wakfu point back, but since it's a low level, I didn't get it back. Okay, I'm working on... Okay, here's a fire spell. It has that small area of effect, and you have a chance of blinding the enemy and making them disoriented, which makes it harder for them to see you. So it kind of decreases their range a bit. Very helpful for facing enemies that also have ranged against you. I don't want to take this out too long, so I gotta have them smack them a couple times. Here's a speed bonus, so I'll get more AP so I can do more stuff. Now the next one is Burning Arrow. This goes in a line of 3, and you can only cast it in a straight line, but that means you can hit up to 3 at once, and you have a chance of burning them, which will do damage the next time their turn comes around, I think. Yes, it does. 2 hit points at the end of the turn, or it probably depends how strong your fire spells are. I have one more fire spell to go. So come over here so I can show off. Come here, kitty. Okay, here is the last one. The Explosive Arrow. A big area of effect, but it costs 6 AP, so it's pretty much the only thing you can do for the turn for a while. But it also has a chance of doing additional damage because it explodes. See the area of effect here, then the explosion for -1 hit point is 30%. So I'll have him finish it off just because that's fine. So before I go on with this too much, I should probably show you the specializations and whatnot to get you an idea of what exactly I'm doing. Specializations that you have available here, you should unlock all of them by around level 5, because I'm level 6 and they're all here. Or maybe it was level 6, I'm not sure. So the active abilities you have are Disengage, which you can use to have a chance to push the enemy back 1 cell, but move you away by 2 cells if you max it out. I think it's important to preview the spells at which levels, because then it lets you see if it's worth increasing, because it takes more points to max out excuse me, active spells than it does passives, in a way. So with this case, at level 1, you only have a chance to push it back by 1 cell by 3%. You only move away by 1 cell, but once you start getting up in levels, up to at least level 7, you have a higher chance to push it away and move yourself away by a lot more. So that could be a very important one to keep in mind. The Unbeacon you're racing me do. You have a chance of recovering a Wakfu point, but there's something I forgot to mention, that with the Riddled status, it activates the Riddled state, which I will get to because the Earth tree I will do next, just because it was right under just because that's in the order it was on my hotkey bar. But yes, when you choose Unbeacon, if you max it out, you can increase the range dramatically to destroy your beacon so you can stay safe by up to 7 squares away, and it doesn't look like you need a line of sight with that. I believe that's what it means. I wish it was more informative with that. But anything that's around that will get up to 20% damage if it's maxed out, and you have a 20% chance of recovering a Wakfu point, and you activate the Riddle state, which is very helpful if you're focusing on the Earth tree, and if you max it out, it will take nothing to activate it, even though other than that it only takes 1 action point, but they're important, so. Next one is long distance combat. You can activate it at the first level for 1 action point and 2 movement points to increase your critical hit damage. So critical hitting is kind of very important for Cras because lots of things involve critical hits, or at least multiple things. If you max it out, you can get up to 20% critical hit damage and only cost 2 movement points instead of 2 movement points and 1 action point. The Bat's Eye enables the Cra to reduce its target's range and lower its ability to lock. So it's a kind of costly one at 4 AP. If you max it out, it will cost 2 AP and have up to 1 to 7 range. And also that's the more range you take away and the more lock you take away from your target. But then again, after you cast that, you can't cast it again, because they'll be immune to the spell Bat's Eye for at least 1 turn. So it's helpful if you kind of want to disorient your enemy a little bit, but it depends what you feel like doing. And then the last active one is Beacon Sneak-In. That's what it's called, yes. So this one, you can destroy a beacon, but you teleport to the freed cell. So you destroy one of your beacons, and then you teleport to it as a last-ditch effort to escape. And the more you level it, the more range it has, and also the less it costs, but it'll always cost 1 Wakfu point. But the minimum AP will be 2. So for passives available, which go up to level 20 as always, you can increase your beacon expertise, which adds maximum charges up to 2. If you max it out to 20, you get 2 controls, so you can put multiple beacons up at once, and you get 40 dodge, so you can avoid enemies being in your face a little easier. So dodge might be important too, depending. With Cra Precision, you have a certain percent chance of hitting, quote, accurately. And depending on where you'll end up hitting, you'll do more damage. Like you'll hit a limb for 30%, anywhere else in the body 50%, and if you hit their head with a headshot, you'll do 80% damage. So up to maximum level 20, you have a 40% chance of any of those happening, and another percent chance that stays the same. Heightened Vision might be very good because you get 10% chance to critical hits at max, and you get 2 range, so you can always hit from almost anywhere on the map, unless the map is very huge. So I would say that's recommended, but it's always up to you with what you want to do. So this one is probably very helpful for the Earth Branch, because with this one, for each arrow shot per AP used, you get plus 2 level of Riddled and Reach. Which is, again, I'll get to that once I get to the Earth Branch. And Powerful Shooting is the farther away you are from the target, the more damage you do. So 40% damage if they're 4 to 6 cells away, or 60% if 7 are farther away. But that's up to maximum level 20. And passives you don't ever have to activate, they're just buffs that are applied to your character. As far as stats go, I'm not really sure what to recommend completely, because like I said, it depends what you want to do, but I think that either dodge or initiative is helpful. Initiative so you can move faster in battle and make sure you can position yourself out of sticky situations if you can go first or plan ahead. And dodge might be important to get out of stickier situations and you want to save your AP so you don't disengage. Or you can maybe even berserk dodge if you're in a tight spot, but I'm not sure about that, because you don't really want your hit points to get less than half when you're a squishy Cra, I think. The strength here, since they're not really going to be close combat at all, you could put resistance and health points just for extra survivability if you want, but I would probably mostly focus on offense, because they have to do whatever they can to make sure they're not hit close up, but there are ranged enemies too, so whatever you feel like doing, if you want to go earth or air, or maybe a little bit of all of it, because you can go tri-element, you just won't be super strong in one, but you'll have options, which is usually what I like. For agility, I already showed that, I think. Yeah, initiative, dodge, lock. And for this one, I would suggest critical hits and critical damage, since they already have passives that increase those boosts. That's just what I suggest. You can look at here, they have block, damage from behind, berserk damage, heals, resistances. But yeah, critical hits and critical damage seems the most helpful, just from the small amount of time I've played it. And then the biggest, major one, you can get, I would say maybe range and damage, because they get an additional range and plus 40% damage, or just get what's pretty much recommended for everyone, which is just 1 additional action point, because action points are everything. You need action points. So now that I've talked your face off and you're like, come on, just fight some more, I will do that. Come here, kitties. We must amuse the viewers by killing cats. Yeah. Okay, so he's gonna get hit by that freaking... Yeah. So the Earth Branch. The Riddling Arrow gives you plus 1 level to Riddled and Reach every time you use it. And I can't see from here, crud. So let's just use that on here. So now I have the Reach duration and they have the Riddled thing. If I activate Riddled, depending on their level, there's a chance of me getting rid of 1 max movement point from the enemy. So you can kind of use it to get rid of movement from the enemy so they can't reach you as easily. So let's see, can I activate this? Well, I could, but it's not, it might hurt the guy. Let's do it anyway, he can survive. So I activated the Earth Beacon. You should watch the area of effect. It can't do ones right next to the beacon, but it can do a pretty wide range everywhere else. And this cat's gonna, crap. I might have to finish the Earth Beacon in another one. Or finish the Earth one in another fight. Alright, let's see. Yeah. Well, they don't have too much lock, so I can get away. Lashing Arrow just uses 2 AP and 1 movement point. It's only 2 uses per target, but it's a cheap costing one. So you can do that and do other things as well. I'm going to leave it there for a bit. I usually use up all my AP, but I won't, just to not confuse with the elements of spells. Okay, I'm going to push them away so I can use something else. And Piercing Arrow is the one that can possibly rebound, but I'll probably use it the next fight to try it out because there's nothing else to rebound on. But there's only a chance to rebound if it's the line of sight in front of the Cra. If you do it anywhere else, it's just regular and actually has reduced damage. So it does more damage if you're right in front of it, and then it has a possibility to rebound. So it's better to do it like that. Oops. Okay, so what spells haven't we used yet? I still got the Destructive Arrow to go, which is why Riddled and Reach is very important, because the Destructive Arrow is the most costly spell, most costly earth spell, and it takes away -1 hit point per level of Riddled on the enemy. So that's why I said that one passive works very well with this if you want to go Earth, because it gives you 2 more levels of Riddled and Reach every time you use an Earth spell. So once you use Destructive Arrow, it could cause a lot of hurt on your enemy. So let's just give it a go and see if I can do it this time. I'm not going to buff it up because it will probably take too long. So let's just see if I can... Okay, so that's important to note. It's only line of sight. So let's just use it, just to see what it looks like. So it's already strong by itself, but yeah. It can be very strong. So the Earth spell definitely isn't kidding with how strong everything is. I'm gonna put him here and see if it will show up. Oh, that thing's, yeah, it's gonna mob me. So let's see if I can use, nope, can't see. Now I can use it. So I'll use that thing to hurt those. But now I got the knight stuck here. Wow, I'm stupid. See, this is why I'm not sure if I can recommend many build things, because I make very stupid moves. Yeah, they get hit once. Oops. So yeah, at least I showed you the Earth branch, then I can get on with the Air branch shortly after this. I can do long distance combat, but there's not much point in doing that, and the Bat's Eye told you what that does, and these things are close up, so might as well just use whatever. Let's wait until this is done. Okay, now finally, the Air branch I get to show. This one's pretty weak, so hopefully I can just do more spells that way without potentially dying yet. So the Homing Arrow is a very cheap one, but has a very good range, as you can see here. It only costs 2 AP per shot. Very good range, but very weak. Like here, I can pretty much hit each enemy once from my position here. Not for much damage, but I can do it. And the Windy Beacon, I can use it in that cross area of effect, and it will push enemies away. So it kind of helps me maintain distance. Like I said, the enemies can attack your little summon things that you put into play, and I have to be careful that my knight isn't in the way, or else I'll push him all over the place as well and hurt him. Just push the kitties. Yes, they're gonna attack my thing. Let's see if I can use it. I can't use it. Crap. Can I use it now? Yes, I can use it now, but nothing's really there. So I'll use the Plaguing Arrow to hit that one from over there. Then I'll use this to push them, so you can at least see what it does. Then I'm probably not going to use it anymore after that, so I'll just go wherever. Oy. Okay, so now I gotta wait. Oh. Jeez. So the next one is the Retreat Arrow, which I really need right now. Except, does it push me back 2 cells or pushes them back? Well, I'll find out. Takes one, okay, just pushes them back 2, and it took extra damage because it's right. Because my thing was in the way, so I'm glad I didn't get rid of it yet. And it's got 1 hit point left, I hate that. It's like the moment of shame, it's like, oh, the 1 hit point I couldn't get rid of. And I'll just poke it to get rid of it. I have 1 more air spell left. Push that back. And the one I have left is the Storm Arrow, which is 2 uses per turn, has area of effect, and it's fairly cheap to use. Unlike the Fire one, 3 AP and 1 movement point, and a little bit of area of effect. But it does it in a cone pattern instead. So it's not like all out area type of thing. So you have to position that a little bit carefully. I want to try killing it this time, if possible. So let's use that. Okay, I got it. So that's the air branch right here. This is probably taking too long, so I should probably hurry up. And that is pretty much all of the elemental branches. I acted like there was more to show, but that's pretty much it. You can do each one as you like. If you want pure damage, you could probably go Earth and just keep stacking up the Riddling arrow and then to time with your Destruction arrow. And then with the Riddling and maybe Heightened Vision, so you get more critical hits or critical damage. But then again, it's always your choice. And just because I showed it in the action bar here, you can have multiple action random guild invite. This is a random character that's going away. No thanks. So anyway, with all these action bars down here, that's usually how I play it, because even if I use 1 element or just 2, sometimes 1 element will have helpful things. If I went fire or earth, but I didn't use wind at all, I'll keep it just because there are some that can get me out of tricky situations, or some can use it without line of sight, so I can use up all of my AP. Kind of that thing. So if you want to use all these spells and have this hotkey loaded, what you do is just press number 2 on the hotkey thing, then press the little number right there, and it'll show you another one. Same for number 3. And also click it again to hide it. It's a lot easier than just scrolling up and down, I think. It doesn't take too much room, so I like that. You can also move them. They usually appear stacked on top of each other, so I moved them to where I'm most comfortable. So yeah, that's all of my tips that I have for it so far, and that's how the basics of the Cra works. I think it's a very strong class and very easy one to start out with, at least if you like range damage. So I'll move on to the next one. Hopefully I get a better understanding to how to explain it. Hopefully this was a little bit helpful to you guys. Anyway, bye.